All right, we're live.
Woohoo!
No, we have not been drinking tonight.
No.
None of that now. I think it's going to be a fun night. You're going to laugh a lot. All right, we're live. There we go. I'm sharing out. All right, tonight we have Ghostly Girls with Lucy and Haley Nestor.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share this out. Oh, who did I share it to? I don't even know who I shared it to yet. But I shared it out. Hey, rock on. All right.
I'm sharing it off my husband's phone because we're on mine. So.
Oh, okay. You do that. All right, we got 5 people on. Woohoo! Yay! Woo-hoo! So we got Lucy and Haley Nestor from Ghostly Girls. And I know I just said that, but we're repeating it because you guys are here now. It's that kind of night. We're going to just have a lot of fun. Yep. So Lucy and Haley, tell me a little bit about who you are while I continue to share this out to everybody in the whole world.
I am a really boring 36-year-old stay-at-home mom of 3 teenagers. My life is beyond boring. I would have to say the only 2 highlights that I have in my life would be my paranormal family and stuff. And then the biggest major is my Jeep family, because we like to take them out and get them dirty and muddy and hang out and have a really good time.
I like seeing your Jeep pictures because, you know, that looks really cool. I know my daughter's always wanted a Jeep. So,
yeah, they're amazing vehicles to have.
They're probably a lot of fun to wash, too.
Well, I've had to wash it a few times, but I mainly make my husband get out the power washer and do that.
Right? Yeah, I probably wouldn't want to do that because I mean, I like playing in the mud. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I think there's times where I'm like not into mud wrestling, you know.
Right. Especially when it's inside the Jeep and it's all in the cracks and crevices and you're like, oh my God, I have to clean this up.
Okay, we're not going to talk about cracks and crevices.
Hanging out.
We don't want to know where they go. Keep that in your own household. Just kidding. Let's see. Share that. Oh, I'm already sharing there. What am I doing? Oh my goodness.
It's almost Friday.
And no, we are not drinking. I have water in my cup. I do have water in my cup. All right, so I think I'm done sharing. Hi everyone, thank you. Hi Darren. I hope you're having fun in Florida. I think you forgot to take us cold weather people with you. Thanks. Oh, Rebecca's watching. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Dan. I don't know who Dan is.
That is one of my Jeep families.
Woohoo!
Not sure.
David.
How do you
David? Team Nestor. Craig.
Yeah.
They're in the chat. So if you go if you open the whole screen up, then you can see the chat going and see who's watching.
I see it now. Technology. Yay.
I know, right? We're not always that smooth.
Right.
I try to be, though, you know, whatever.
Right. Only thing I'm good at is the whole Jeep thing.
But I think you're pretty good with the paranormal stuff. So
I'm getting there. I'm working on that.
You are working on that. So how did you get into the paranormal field? What made you get excited? Hi, Tim. Hi, Kay.
Well, it kind of started when I was younger. I always thought I just was really a super sensitive kid and a super sensitive teenager. And then it kind of carried over to my adult. I was at a book fair because I'm a big book nerd. And a lady had walked up to me and you know, my adopted dad always took me to cemeteries, just kind of played along with me because it made me happy. Mm-hmm. But a lady had walked up to me at a book fair and she had grabbed my arm and she said, oh my God. And I said, what? You're scaring me. She said, you have abilities beyond belief. And she said, you are an empath. Well, then I started doing research and looking into it and reading books about it, and everything kind of lined up. And I've had multiple people say, you are an empath. And that kind of made sense for me.
Right.
And then a couple years.
Isn't that funny when strangers walk up to you and say that to you? You're like,
oh my God, it's scary sometimes. I've had people do it a few times. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, you're lucky you don't get punched, but okay.
I know, right? You're like, okay.
And then I had something happen 2 years ago. My sister had passed away on my birthday. And me and her, in her waking life, me and her had talked about, seeing things and hearing things. And I always used to be scared. Like, if I see a ghost, I didn't really see it. I didn't want to see anything scary. Well, my computer would turn on every night at 10:30 and it would type out, "I love you." And it did it for a couple months when I finally put 2 and 2 together. And I told my husband, I said, "I think that's my sister." Well, then it did it when I asked it to do it. And then she printed it out off my printer. And I was like, oh my God. Well, that's when I started to be able to see spirits. Mm-hmm. When it first started happening for me, I would see just a fuzzy outline, like a TV screen. But now I can see buttons, colors, shoes, hats. I can pull their emotion and feel their emotions. It's an amazing gift to have, to be able to do something like that. And I do a lot of readings for people that, like, if spirit comes to me, I figure out who it's for, and I give them messages to the family, because obviously it's something that they need to heal.
Do you ever walk up to strangers and tell them? Since they do it to you, do you ever walk up to strangers and do it to them?
Only at Jeep meets. In my comfort zone. I have walked up to a few Jeep newbies where spirit is just standing there and they're bugging and bugging and bugging, where I can feel it. And I'm like, oh, if I don't give this message, this person's just going to bug the Jesus out of me. But then I walk up and I go, I don't want to scare you, but who's so-and-so? And they died from whatever, and this is their message, and their jaws will just drop and go, oh my God, you are amazing. And then it turns into a little mini reading, and it kind of just happens that way.
Paranormal consult. Hello, how are you? I don't know who that is, but hey. Rock on. Yeah, I've done that before, where I tend to just stare at people and they're like, what? And I'm like, well, you really want to know?
Right.
And then my daughter knows what I do now, and she's like, Mom, stop staring at people. I'm like,
that's this
God,
one.
I can't help it.
That's this one. She'll be like, Mom, don't do it.
That's my daughter. She's like, stop staring. You stare at people all the time. And I'm like,
right.
But I like people watching.
Yeah. It's hard to ignore sometimes.
It is, because like when I was working out at the gym on Monday night, there was an old gentleman smoking a cigar, and I was like, I thought it was for this other lady, and then realized it was for my teammate, who is also my fitness instructor. It was her grandfather. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, so who's this guy? And she's like, wait, that's my grandpa.
Wow.
Got it.
Have you ever gotten one to come through really cocky and angry like?
Not yet.
I've had one do that, and it was about a year ago, and he would stomp through my because I'm a night owl, so when everybody goes to bed, I'm the only one up, and usually that's when they come to me. So he would stomp through my dining room, and I would go in there and be like, excuse me, who are you trying to contact so I can let them know? And he would laugh and say, you'll find out sooner or later. This happened for almost a month, and then he just disappeared. I'm like, okay. Rude.
No, I mean, usually when I see them in here, in my personal space, I'm like, okay, what do you want? Go away. I'm done. I'm done for the night. Leave me alone.
Right.
I'm trying to sleep. I don't sleep good at nighttime. Probably none of us paranormal people ever sleep good at nighttime.
Probably not.
That's why we can stay up and investigate all night long,
Right. That's usually when I get Charlie out and play with him and see what I'm still learning how to use Charlie. Charlie is my newly acquired ink box. I'm absolutely in love with him. He's like my best friend.
Now, most people, you're like me. You don't mind playing with your instruments in the house.
Right.
Most people won't do it.
I've noticed that, and I've heard them go, oh my God, don't use it in your house. But here's the kicker. Right? I actually collect haunted objects too. So, I mean, nothing scares me. I've always said the only thing that I'm ever going to be scared of is if something demonic comes through, and that's the day I will lay everything down and walk away cold turkey, because I'm not doing that demonic thing.
Yeah, but demonic spirits are far and few between. Like it's
yeah,
very rare to happen, you
yeah.
know. And it's so funny because I used to be scared. Like basically, I mean, I know I've told this story many a times, but I don't like Ouija boards. I had an experience with a Ouija board when I was 12.
Wow.
Danced with the devil that night, and I don't care to do that ever again. I'm a fighter. I fought him off, of course.
Yeah.
And that you know, it was very real. And I will tell people are like, it's just a dream, and I'm like, no, but you don't understand because some of the descriptions that were in the dream also appeared in other things 12 years later.
Yeah.
So that's how I know it was real. When this devil looked like it did in a movie 12 years later, I know that was real.
Like, yeah, I only have 2 Ouija boards. The one I bought because it has a really pretty fairy and stuff on it. And so that Ouija board is in my basement hidden. The board and the planchette are separated so they can't come together by themselves. And then the other one I acquired from a young lady that, of course, nothing has happened with it yet. That said stuff was happening with it that was haunted. It's actually an original 1940s Ouija board. And that's just sitting in the top of the closet. Like I said, nothing's happened.
1940s. Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't actively get it out and play with it. I'm like, yeah.
You know, and I get it. It's like any other item that we play, you know, we use. I didn't say play, that we use, right, you know, to communicate with. But it's one that I won't ever touch again.
Yeah, for me,
experience. But you know, it's very far few in between. Most spirits that people deem demonic, they're just negative. That's all.
Yeah.
They're just mean assholes, you know.
Oops, right, exactly.
They're just mean, mean people here on Earth. So they're mean people in the spirit world. That's all.
Yeah.
So, but Haley, how did you? I mean, obviously you got into the doing some investigations because your mom, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me what you enjoy about being a young paranormal investigator.
I just like spending time with Mom. I mean, it makes her happy, so yeah, I'm fine with it.
So that's how you spend time with her.
Yes, but she too also is slowly starting to see things.
No, I'm not.
That she, I'm not. That she doesn't know. You know, am I getting Mom's ability?
Nope.
Is something happening? Because I also actually found it because I was adopted. So I actually just recently, in the past couple of years, found out that my grandmother on my mom's side that I never met, her name was Lucy Ellen Newsom, and I'm Lucy Ellen Nestor, and she read tarot cards and kind of had those abilities. And I guess in her town of Kermit, West Virginia, everybody in the town would come to her. Am I going to get pregnant? Or are we going to hit money? Or, you know, she was the go-to person to figure things out. So I like to think that she passed something down to me.
Yeah, I understand that. My dad is one that always had premonition dreams. So I think that's where I get my gifts from, is his side of the family somehow. I don't know if my grandparents, either one of them, had any abilities, but
yeah,
I have no idea.
Some
of my siblings don't believe that I can do all this, and I'm like, whatever. You don't have to. My twin sister does, because she reads tarot cards, and she's had things happen, and she's like, oh, okay. So she experiences stuff, but she's kind of in denial. But my daughter's like you, Haley. She denies her gifts. She does things too, and I'm like, right there, and she's like, shut up, Mom. I point them out to her, you know. If everybody could share this out, I'd appreciate it. You know, more the merrier. If you have any questions you want to ask, type them up. We'll ask them. You know, I do want to show you something that I acquired this week. You see it?
Ah, you got a Jeep, duck!
And I don't even have a Jeep. I don't have a Jeep, but I got a ducky.
Future goals.
I know, right? I do have a question about the ducks, though. Do you know how they started and why they started? Because
I'm honestly not sure.
cute.
They're just
Peggy. Hi, Chrissy.
It's called Duck Duck Jeep. We just buy ducks and put tags on them that says, "Hey, this is who we're from," or with whatever group we are with, and you go out driving, and if you see a duck, or a Jeep, you leave a duck.
I think that's so. I just want to get the ducks and go, "Hey, I don't own a Jeep, but I just wanted to duck you."
Right. Right.
I just want to duck you because you've been ducked.
Yeah.
Hi, Eddie Pence. Eddie Pence is fun.
Yes.
And so
I believe we met him at Middle Point.
Yes. And Peggy was there too.
Yes.
Peggy's an awesome person. She's such a sweetheart. Yeah. That was fun though.
It was, and that was the first time that I chickened out on my very first solo. Oh my God. I don't even think, I heard Denise and everybody downstairs laughing. I don't even think I was up there for a full 3 minutes, and I was gone. I'm like, I'm not playing this game.
I was too. I didn't laugh. I think maybe I did 5 minutes of that solo run because I was fine sitting there, but I started getting really not feeling well. I felt very wonky, and I was like, I can't do this. I won't go throw up, and I don't want to throw up. So yeah.
Well, that thing that they said, because I heard him previously in the night say, "Oh, there's a black thing that crawls out across the top of the ceiling upstairs," and I had made the joke, "Haha, that would be funny to see." Well, while I was up there doing my solo, I had stepped out in the hallway and I just felt this big gush of air. And I looked up and I seen just this big black mass above my head. And that's when I started recording and walking down the hallway. And I kept turning around. And in my video, when I stopped right before I went down the steps, the doorway next to me, the black mass is in that doorway. And you can see how it goes up above the doorway. I was like, we're not doing that. Thank you. Haley
we're planning on taking a team there.
Haley did her solo in the mirror room as well, and she kind of got freaked out.
That's where I did it, was in the mirror room, and I was like, I don't like mirrors. I mean, I don't like looking in mirrors anyway, so that one was just weird because it just it was so big that you could see it just kept going and going, like one of those optical illusion mirrors.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, I'm going to end up in some portal here and trapped in a portal. And just kidding. I watched too many movies. Right. Hi, Michelle. The hallway is crazy because, what's funny is with UGPN, because we're part of them, they had showed a video of somebody's necklace getting moved. And I was like, wait, that happened to me. I don't know which group you were in, but I know the group I had, we were taking them up to the second floor with the hallway. And my necklace, I went like this, grabbed it because it fell off my neck. And I was like, okay, that was weird. It just unclasped and realized, we lost them. Ew, come back. Your war room. Stay there. Hi, peekaboo.
Just kind of taking a break. No.
Damn spirits.
I had to go check on the Jeep. She sounded like she was sad.
But yeah, I ended up grabbing my necklace like this, and then and it was weird because we were talking about how that hallway and the building, there's a spirit there that apparently likes necklaces. So
nice.
I think we're gonna try that. It'll be cool.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone? Yeah. Stick me where you want. I'll wear a necklace and say it's yours. Take it off.
Right.
That would be cool to do. How cool would that be? How cool would that be to say, wear a necklace that can unclasp, not like this necklace.
Yeah.
That's why this necklace is on a rope chain now, or a rope, like leather rope, so it can't be torn off my face. Lucy, you investigated a war room?
I did. That's Chris. That's one of my best friends. I went to his house because he was having some stuff going on. And it was really funny because he collects a lot of like German stuff, German guns, helmets, things like that. And you know, my birth family has history with Auschwitz, and they came over from Odessa, Ukraine. So they were Jewish, and I was trying to provoke the spirit. I know that's probably bad to do, but I wore my Star of David necklace, and I had it underneath my shirt. Mind you, this is the first time I had met Chris and his fiancée, Jessica. As soon as I walked in, that German soldier stood right there in that doorway and called me a few choice words and said that I was not coming in the house until I took it off like he knew it was on me, even though you couldn't physically see it. Oh, he was fun. He was fun to connect with and kind of, you know, handle. And then with some of the guns that Chris collects, he had brought one out. I don't remember which one it was because he has so many. But I touched the gun, and as soon as I touched it, I could feel and hear people crying, and it was almost like everybody that had been killed with that particular weapon. Mm-hmm. I could feel all their emotions and actually hear it. So that was a new experience for me. Yeah. And lately, that's kind of when I kind of figured out I could touch an object and get images, and now that's something that I can do.
I'm there with you. Yeah. I've actually done that. There's oh my God, Anatomy of Death Museum over here for Todd LaRosa here in Mount Clemens, Michigan. It's awesome. So if you're ever in Michigan, you got to go to his Death Museum. It's very cool. Very cool. But there is a large sword, a very large sword, that came from the Congo. And the very first time I saw it, I got the image of who it belonged to and what he did with it. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's definitely
I'm like, that's so heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy to experience when it comes to an object. When it first happened to me, I went to Bobby Mackey's. That was my Mother's Day gift last year. I went to Bobby Mackey's. And I had told the lady about my abilities, and she said, I have something I want you to touch. She handed me a Bible and a belt buckle, and she's like, do you know anything about these items? And I said, no, I don't. She said that was Carl. Those were Carl's items, which he was the caretaker of Bobby Mackey's. And I ended up going to one end of the bar and setting them down, and I kind of just stood there. And when I leaned on the bar, she turned around and looked, and she's like, oh my God. And I said, what? She said, you are standing in Carl's spot, and you are standing the exact same way Carl would stand. Well, she had informed me that Bible hasn't been touched since his death, and that was the Bible he was holding during his exorcism at Bobby Mackey's. Mm-hmm. I didn't really get any other vibes from Bobby Mackey's. I was more there. I have to usually go to a location at least twice to kind of try to really hone in and get something. But as I was leaving, I was taking just, those last minute photos. And in one of the photos by the sound booth, there's a white face leaning over. And when you zoom in and look, it's Carl. Like he was telling me goodbye.
Right. Aw, love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now, do you pick up on any objects, Haley? No? You'll start developing that soon.
Don't say that to me.
Like, my mom freaks me out enough. Don't that.
Say
that. No, Scott, it's my older sister that's actually watching. She didn't say hi yet, but I think she hearted it. I think that's the first time my sister's ever watched one of my shows. I know, right? Hey. Yeah, I do have a twin, but that's not the one watching. She actually, my twin doesn't have Facebook anymore. Okay, so you've been to Middle Point. Have you been anywhere else, Haley?
Yeah. I've been to a couple other places. I don't really remember the names.
Fairfield County Infirmary, because it's here in Lancaster. One of my ultimate favorite places to even just be in the presence of. Moonville a few times. I've also taken her to Prospect Place with me. Okay. Just cemeteries.
I haven't been to Prospect Place, but I've heard a lot of things about it.
Yeah, I'm kind of selective on where I take her, introduce her to, because being being as young as she is and as open as she is, I don't want anything to think they're going to attach to her and come home, or kind of that genre. And I don't want that to happen. Where if it happens to me, because it has happened to me many a time, I know how to handle it and control the situation.
Dan wants to know, was she at Moonville?
Yes.
What's Moonville?
Moonville Tunnel is in Zaleski.
Oh,
State. Yeah.
Eddie Pence takes pictures there. I know exactly what tunnel you're talking about now.
Yes, it is a beautiful place. When I go there, I connect with a young woman who has long braided hair and a white dress. But the main one I connect to is a gentleman. He's not quite dressed up in like a conductor's outfit, but he's holding a conductor's lantern and has the hat. He likes to stand at the end of the tunnel and have full-blown conversations with me when I come.
Sweet. Okay, so we need to go there.
Yes.
Because it says moon. It's a Moonville. I'm all about the moon.
Of course,
My favorite stone is the moonstone. So, you know. Ray, Goosey, if you're watching, I'm a moon baby. He made fun of me because the way I typed it out, it didn't sound right. He's like, moon baby. And I'm like, no, I'm a moon child. Like, the moon is my life.
Right?
I dance under the moon. Yeah, it's funny. But I know that tunnel because I've seen Eddie Pence take many pictures of it. So
yeah, it's just alone a beautiful location, and then when you add the history, it's even better. And then on top of that, you layer it with the paranormal. It makes it even sweeter.
It's cool. I so need to go there. Where's that located at again?
Zaleski State Forest.
That's in Ohio?
Yep, up in that area. Yep.
I wonder how far a drive it would be.
MacArthur, Ohio, I believe.
I have figured that out now because, I mean, I'm near Detroit, so, and we've been to Fairfield. We went to the very first FairCon, the SD one. We went to that last year, and I think it's a 5-hour drive.
Yeah, it's a drive.
I mean, Ohio's long. It's like
it is.
Donald said I went horseback riding through the Moonville Tunnel and it was 75 degrees out and got in there and the temps dropped to like 15. Well, then it's haunted. Jeez. Yeah, those pictures Eddie Pence took were very, very cool. I mean, he takes good pictures. I'm going to have to try to get him on my show one day.
Right.
Pence, if you're still watching, I don't know if he does them, but
yeah.
Okay, so what does your Jeep family think of you as a paranormal investigator?
They love me. At least I hope they do. They embrace Lucy's weirdness. No, my Jeep family, Off-Road Disciples of Ohio, has been just an amazing family. They support everything that I do or could ever dream. We're not just an off-road group, we're a family, and that's what I love about them. Our leader, we call him the boss now. Travis Dean is amazing, and then I have actually a few Jeepers on here watching, but they completely support it. I've done a few readings for some of them. I did one reading one night for a young lady named Sarah, and it was really weird because I was thinking, I don't know how I did it, but I was thinking about her for some reason, and I looked at her Facebook profile page and was looking at her pictures, and then all of a sudden I hear, and I look up at the end of my bed, and here stands her grandmother and her grandfather. And the only thing that makes that reading specifically impressionable to me is because it was her dad and her grandmother. Her dad has been the only spirit to ever touch me. After I gave her the reading or whatever the messages was, he literally walked around to the side of my bed, grabbed my arm, and told me thank you, and then just was gone. And my whole arm lit up. It was like this just shock of electricity. He was the most nicest spirit I could ever encounter, and he was the only one that ever thanked me for my time and actually physically touched me.
That's cool.
That's
awesome. Now, do you use like tarot cards or anything like that, or you just like
I don't. I have tarot cards. I haven't really messed with them. I like the pendulum more. Yeah.
We're so alike.
Crystals are my thing.
I have like 5 pendulums.
Yeah. The only problem I have like with the pendulums and the readings and this, I do not know how to ground myself yet. I'm not really good with setting boundaries. So I'm recently come into the issue where I have 50 people that want readings, but they don't know how much time and energy that sucks from me to day to do 2 or 3 of them every day. So it's like, do a reading or have energy to do laundry.
So what I tell people about grounding, I think grounding is different for everybody. Like just walking outside barefoot, you know, and imagining yourself being one with nature is a type of grounding. You know, another way of grounding is imagining that you're protected by a bubble, kind of like Glenda the witch from Oz, you know, protecting yourself. So I think grounding is what it is to you. So if it's you saying a prayer before you start doing stuff, it's whatever makes you feel comfortable. That's how I describe grounding to people, because they're like, what's ground? I'm like, it's different for everybody. It truly is. I mean, nobody has the same ritual of grounding. That, you know, it's whatever you believe it to be, you know, and it's just like I've had other mediums, you know, because I don't call myself a medium. I say I'm sensitive. I don't feel I'm strong enough to say, hey, I'm a psychic medium. But I have people ask me, are you a psychic medium? I'm like, well, I mean, if that's what you want to call me, but you know. No, like I just say I'm sensitive and I can do this, you know. But you know, to each their own, you know. Meditation as well, Scott. But like some people are like open all the time, and you know what I mean by being open. And like, why? Why are you open all the time? And they're like, well, they're like, you're not? I'm like, no, because I don't want to be bothered all day long.
Exactly.
They're like, well, how do you shut it off? I'm like, well, think of yourself as like a book. You open a book when you want to be, you know, read, and you close the book when you're finished, or open the door, close the door, you know, turn the light on, turn the light off. You know, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Because I work with the public and I don't want to be bothered all day long because I'm already exhausted working with the public. I don't need their dead relatives coming at me and going, hey, can you talk to them while, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I learned that the hard way. I learned how to turn it on and off because I used to just be like, okay, well, if they're there, they're there. One morning I woke up and there was 4 of them standing at the edge of my bed and they just all started talking at once. And I'm like, all right, we need to figure out how to not do that because it's not cool.
Right. I'm trying to go to sleep. Leave me alone.
Like, I haven't had my coffee yet. Can y'all just shut up?
Right. It's so fun. It's so fun being sensitive.
Yeah, it is.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Leave me alone.
Right.
Now, where are some places that you would like to investigate at?
Oh my God.
What's your top bucket list?
It would be Waverly. Hands down, Waverly. And
we cannot go back to Waverly until Denise and Ernie Pack get it back. But it is a nice place. You guys have been there. It's awesome. You would love it. It's big. She said. Sorry. But it's huge, and I think it needs more than a day to actually investigate the whole building.
Yeah. And of course I need to get up to Madison Seminary. I've been telling Adam Kimmel like for 2 years now, I'm gonna make it, and I never make it. And then, you know, Indiana State Sanatorium or hospital, I need to get up there and see that beautiful building that they have all gotten.
We went to Madison because we've been there for MadCon. The first year, which was 2 years ago, that I went to, because I've only been in the field for 2 years, since 2019. So I'm a newbie, but I learned a lot very quickly. and made a lot of friends very quickly. Made some enemies on the way very quickly.
Yeah.
Who cares? Oh.
Right.
Hey, you know what? If we have haters, we're doing something right.
Right. Yeah, I'm good. I can just run your Honda over. Like, I can go anywhere. You mow my grass.
I'm gonna get a Jeep and I'm naming it Christine, all because of that dream I had last night. Yes. We'll tell your Jeep friends that dream in a minute, but part of it, not all of it, but just part of it. So anywho, but Madison, the very first time I went, we didn't do the investigation at night because they had a separate investigation. But we went to MadCon, so it was MadCon 3 that I went to. And we did the half an hour day tour. Oh my God, that place had me bawling. And probably Eddie Pence would probably remember this. I don't know if he was there, but I know Darren Smith's son. He's like, here, hold this stone. And I was like, okay, thanks. But it was on, I think, the 3rd floor. It was before you got to the very top. I forget how many floors are in there, but it was Sarah's room. It was whatever floor Sarah's room is on. It was Denise Smith that was doing the tour, and she was talking about the gun that they're, supposedly has been hidden somewhere. There's a gun that's in the history or stories, of the building and stuff, and they can't find it anywhere.
Wow.
And so she was telling about this, and I just started feeling this really heavy pressure on my chest, like very sad, like truly sad. And I think it was coming from the floor above me, but I felt really sad. And they went into Sarah's room. They went down the hallway into Sarah's room, and I stood back for a minute just to collect myself, try to ground a little bit better. And I went to Sarah's room where everyone was at. I looked in, I said, nope. I turned right back around, and then I stood there in the hallway, and everybody then ended up going upstairs to the last floor, and I completely just lost it. Like, I've never cried so hard in my life on anywhere in a haunted building. And the guy that waits for everybody to leave the floor, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. I've never done this before. I was sobbing where I couldn't breathe. It was weird.
Yeah, I've done that at FCI. I had an experience like that one night at FCI. I think it was like maybe the 2nd or possibly 3rd time that I was in there at night investigating. So on the women's wing, there's a particular room that I don't want to call him a guard, but whoever watched the women or that wing or floor or whatever back in the day, the woman or women in that room at that particular time, what I like to describe his favorite type of chocolate, if you know what I'm going with. So he knew I could see him, and this was at the time where everything was just still fuzzy. So he kept, Dylan was in the room with us, and he kept being really intimidated and amping Dylan's attitude and just Dylan's whole energy up. And Adam Kimmel and the rest of the group had left the room and walked down the hallway after a couple EVP sessions, and left me, Dylan, and another young lady in the room and shut the door. Well, I could see the spirit. He was pissed that I could even see or sense him. He walked around Dylan and this young lady, and when he stood in front of me, it felt like my whole body had caught on fire. And me not knowing how to control something like that just yet, I just stood there and bawled, ran out of the room, ran down the hallway to Kimmel and them crying, and it was definitely an experience. And now when I go in there and I go in that particular room, of course, he just laughs or huffs at me because now he knows that I can see him. But I haven't had really any issues with him. I kind of made my peace, of course, until nighttime, because in any haunted location, nighttime is a lot different than daytime.
It is. I mean, things happen all day long, no matter what. But
yeah,
I think I tell people, they're like, I've had people like randomly ask me, why do you guys hunt that? Like, why do you go at nighttime? And I'm like, because the earth is quieter. It's easy to hear things. They're active all day long, but we pay attention more when things are quieter, when the space around us isn't as busy. We're not distracted. But yeah, okay. So Eddie does remember that day. And we went back last year, and but I didn't get to investigate Sarah's room because other people were investigating it. So I am going to take my team there one of these years and go back and investigate that room because I really want to find out who it was that was truly affecting me that way. Like who was that sad that you have to show me that emotion.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, I'm an emotional person as it is, but
I am too.
that was crazy insane.
Yeah.
He says I have to agree with that last statement. Yeah. Now, Haley, where do you want to investigate anywhere special with your mom, or you just?
She's over here trying to take a nap.
I know. I see that. That's why I had to ask her a question. Don't fall asleep on my show. We ain't that boring. Waverly, yeah. It's gonna. You guys will love it. Where's Scott? There's his comment right there. Yeah, we tried to scare Scott. There's times where, and I don't know if you've done this, but when you're with a group of people that you're like very close knit friends with, that I'm hearing myself echo all of a sudden. Spirits, stop. I hear myself echoing. Sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
No.
But I heard myself echo for a second there. That was weird. But yeah, we were I don't know if you guys do this, but sometimes you just gotta have fun at locations. You can't be serious all the time. And Scott and I are we've become very close friends. We're both veterans and stuff, and he's our little leprechaun. But he tried to scare us, so we tried to scare him back. And then because I tried to scare him, he crop dusted me. Thanks. I will tell everybody that story. Yeah, I agree with you, Eddie Pence. We that's why I said we're not going back there until Tina and her husband and the Packs have it back,
Yeah.
It is. It's terrible. I still just don't get how. Yeah, it's terrible, and I pray every day for them. So we just got to keep fighting the good fight for Waverly. People need to stop booking there. Paranormal people stop going there until Ernie and them have it back. Tina has it back in her hands. We're not going back, but it was fun. Right. I'm glad I got to go when I did. So now we just got to find new locations to go to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always fun to go back to the same ones. I mean, because I think sometimes, like you said, you get to speak to those spirits a little bit more. I think they get to know you.
Yeah.
Who you are instead of going, oh, here we go again. Same old questions.
Right.
Same old questions. Where are you from? How old are you? Are you a boy or a girl?
Right. I can't wait to go back to Bobby Mackey's. I want to go back because I guess Friday night is like ladies' night. I want to go back Friday night when Bobby's actually on stage because apparently that's when the most activity is ramped up, and then I want to investigate it when he's not on stage and the club is quiet.
Right. I mean, I've heard different feelings about Bobby Mackey, so I I'm not in a big hurry, I guess, but
right.
I just, this year I just don't know where I want to investigate. I know I'm going somewhere with Eddie Pence in June, and I'm excited to go back to that place. Exciting. It's one place that he actually won at the Middle Point when I met you.
Oh,
so one of the places he won. So those are fun. I won a place. We were going to Broken Bow.
I want to go there.
Remember they had the Broken Bow? I won that one.
That's awesome.
So it's in 2 overnights. So it's gonna turn into a 4-day trip.
That's awesome.
It is a 16-hour drive.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I've done 11 by myself and my children, so I'm capable.
Yes. Yeah,
So,
I won Fairfield County Infirmary because I had to show
Oh,
my
May.
people some love. And then I won that half hour with that psychic, which I haven't used either one of them. I just, and when people hear that I won a half hour with the psychic, they're like, but can't you? Yeah, but I want people to tell me who's coming through for me, because nobody so far has came through for me. I don't know if I'm just blocking that part of it or what's going on, but they're all napping on me.
Right. Well, you know, sometimes I think we just don't, like, I can't read my family whatsoever. I don't know if you're
I refuse to.
and that's the funny thing, because everyone's like, can you read your, I'm like, no. I mean, I've read my twin sister, but I used oracle cards, and I kind of read stuff off of there. And then it actually happened for her, so I was like impressed with myself on that one. But my children stuff, I'm like, no, I won't do my family.
Yeah, no, I refuse to.
Oh, Eddie Pence has Broken Bow tickets to there too. Well, you need to book it, Eddie Pence. We're going in April. It's funny because I booked it for April, and then I was like, well, shoot, I have children. So now I got to figure out what to do with my kids, because my 18-year-old's not here to watch them for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn it, I forgot they're still in school.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that? I don't know if any of you guys in the chat have ever done that, but you forget you have a family when you're a paranormal investigator. Yeah. Sometimes you get too excited and you're like, woo, I won something, I'm going to book it. And then you're like, you book it, and then you're like,
I know my husband, I want to take him to Fairfield County Infirmary with me, because he was at FCI Con 1 with me when the one pair, the Wicked, the Mask pair, I'm so sorry, Matt and guys, I can't remember your name right offhand, but that one paranormal group that was inside, like hiding the t-shirts and stuff.
Oh, Matt Warner, yeah. Yes, yeah, Gateway Paranormal.
He went in there with me, and we were looking for like merch and stuff, and I noticed then that my husband is my blocker. What I mean by that is if he's with me or around me, nothing comes through. It's like he's my little protective shield. So he wants to go with me, and I'm like, but if you do, I can't see anything. It's not fun for me. You guys like, why I talk to them.
So he's a shield, like Bella from Twilight.
Yeah.
We're just gonna call him Bella from now on. Bella. What's up, Bella? He's like, I don't like you. She's gonna go tell her dad. She called you Bella.
Her favorite term is "Where you been, Loca?"
You said it wrong. Don't talk to me anymore.
I'm a Twilight fan, so it's all right.
Obviously not
you. She's like, no, you're not, Mom.
Right?
Yeah. Mike said he heard a jail cell door closed in the basement, but there was no doors, and I heard footsteps coming out of the other room. What are we talking about? What location, Mike? I'm not sure what location we were talking about.
Fairfield County Infirmary, probably.
All right, there's a Donald question. Holly, has you or your twin, as I have a twin also, do or have ever a sensation from yes, actually we do that quite we do it more. I know what you're talking about. We actually do it more when we're like really super far apart. There was one time when I was in the military, because she was not, she was away at college. No, she was home. She wasn't at college yet, but she was at home. I was at in Battle Creek, I think it was, for training, because I was a reservist. And I was in a 2-week training, and we were playing volleyball, and I got hit in the eye with the ball. And volleyballs are a little harder than volleyballs. They're just slightly harder. I got hit in the eye, and I was like, oh, that would hurt. Well, when I talked to her later on that evening, she's like, my left eye is killing me. And or she said, my eye is killing me. I'm like, what eye are you talking about? And she's like, my left one. I said, well, I got hit in the eye earlier, and that was the eye I got hurt in, and it's still hurting. And she's like, ah.
Wow.
So, you know, when we're super far apart from each other, then we start feeling like our aches and pains and stuff. So, so yes, it has happened being a twin. We're fraternal twins. We're not identical. So, but yeah, we have had those sensations. But we're like two different sides of the spectrum when it comes to twins. Like we're totally opposite. It's so weird. We love each other, but we're totally opposite. Like I'm a like outgoing party girl, and she's like, I'd rather just stay home.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. So, but yeah, we've had a lot of that. Not a lot, but some happen. But it's pretty cool being a twin. But like I said, she denies her abilities. I know she's got them too.
Yeah.
But now, do you notice any of your other children have abilities?
Nope.
No.
No,
yeah,
just one.
my youngest has abilities far stronger than my daughter. My daughter is the one that denies them. Where Mateo, he indulges in them. His favorite thing is the dowsing rods.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's only 13, so I can't take him into buildings yet. He's not old enough.
Yeah.
One of these days, because he's tired of going to cemeteries. Like, I don't like going to cemeteries, Mom. I like cemeteries. I like cemeteries only for the fact I like trying to find who's the oldest person there.
Yeah, yeah. Believe it or not, cemeteries is my quiet place. You know, they're trying to talk to me, but at the same sense, that is my quiet bubble. I go there to shut everything off.
Okay, so I have a question for you. Why do you think? And this is going to be the oddest question in the whole wide world, but we've talked about this many times with my favorite. But why do you think spirits hang out at cemeteries? Because it's just their body there. Why would they just want to be attached to their body?
That's a really good question.
They go with their loved ones and go haunt them.
I wholeheartedly believe it's how you pass. So like if you were murdered or if it was a suicide, I believe that you're on this loop where you just can't get off this, it's almost like you relive the incident every single day of your afterlife or whatever. That is a really good question. I don't know. Maybe I'll ask one of them next time. Like, why are you here?
Like, why are you here? Why do you want to hang out in the cemetery?
Right.
Go be free.
There's a cemetery here in town called Forest Rose that I go to a lot of the time, and there is one particular spirit, and it doesn't matter if I'm just driving through or if I get out and just sit, because sometimes I'll just get out and sit. Her name is Elizabeth, and that's all she's ever told me. She will just come and just sit with me, and she's quiet the whole time. There's no she's just kind of with me, and then I go and I leave, and when I come back, she's there. She's just kind of wants to be there for me or with me. I don't know what to call it, but I find it in an odd way comforting to know that even though couldn't even begin to start to find her headstone, because Lord knows how many Elizabeths are in that cemetery. And like I said, she won't talk to me. So just knowing that, you know, they're there on the other side kind of gives me kind of peace of mind and comfort.
Do you ever feel like she's your spirit guide?
I don't know. I've never tried the whole spirit guide thing. I'm kind of nervous because my spirit guide probably is shaking their head constantly. Like, what is she doing? Like, oh God, this girl's crazy. I would love to find out who my spirit guide or guides are. That would be awesome. But I've never tried that.
You meditate?
I've tried to, but I can't get my brain to shut off long enough.
The same way. Okay, so that's how I found my spirit guides, is through meditation. And I actually know their names. I have 2 of them. I know their names and everyone's like, how do you know their? I'm like, because I freaking asked them. I'm like, I'm not working with you unless I know your names.
Right, exactly.
Like, okay. Because you know, I watch a lot of mediums go live, and they're like spirits talking to me, and I'm like, why do you call, like, which spirit? Like, are you talking about the spirit that's coming through and you don't know their names because you're not good with the names? Because I'm not always good with names. Sometimes I'm correct. Most of the time I'm wrong.
Right.
But I at least have the initial right, like the first letter right. So I'm always close. But I always like wonder, are they talking about their spirit guides, or are they talking about the spirit that's actually coming through? Because they're like, spirit's telling me this, and I'm like, what spirit? Which spirit are you talking about? You know? Because like I know my guides, the one is a fiery redhead, and her name is Celestine. She's my protector. She's the one that protects me. And then there's a really tall, thin, dark-haired gentleman, and he calls himself Juan. Even though he doesn't look like Spanish, his name is Juan. So he must just like that name. But he's the one that gives me all my information. So
nice.
I got two of them, but I found them through meditation. I was watching one of the psychic mediums who was doing a meditation every Wednesday. She was teaching us how to do it, and it was really cool. I wish she would do them again, but because I really need to learn how to meditate properly.
Yeah, me too.
I'm serious. I mean, I get it. I listen to the ones on YouTube, and then I end up falling asleep. And they tell you, even if you're asleep, it's still working. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it does still work when you're asleep.
Right. About the only time I can shut my brain off is in the middle of the woods, in the Jeep.
Well, that might be where you have to meditate at.
Yeah.
All I know is the one time I was listening to audio recordings, trying to, listen for evidence. My children interrupted me, and I ended up deleting all of them. So meditating and stuff when the kids are awake.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because it's like, Mom, you're a mom. Right. And everybody else in the chat, parents, if you're a parent, you get that. Can't even pee alone without your children coming to the bathroom. Right. It's not the children, it's the animals. It's not the animals, it's the husbands.
I'm telling you.
I don't have anymore, thank God.
Right.
Anywho. Well, we have 3 minutes left. Is there anything specific, anything that we didn't cover that you want to talk about? Haley, do you have any questions? Because you could go right ahead and ask. You can ask questions too now.
She's like, I'm just here.
I know. She's like, my mom made me do this.
Yeah. Only like, because she's been to more locations with me than the other one has. So
right. She's like, my mom just wanted to be on TV today. So I had to hold her hand.
Right.
Not really TV, computer.
She makes
it beautiful. Actually, you look like your mom, so
I'm leaving. that was worse than you calling me 21 earlier. I'm done.
I'm surprised you. Okay, so I thought she was 21 and she's only 15. She's a day older than my daughter, so we have birthday twins.
Yeah.
How could you do this to me?
I'm sorry. Most teenagers are like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my fake ID now. Yeah. Not yours. You're good. You're lucky. I have a party girl. Oh, my son's looking at me funny now. He's like, come on, are you talking about my sister for?
Right. Look, you said my son, and Haley leaned forward like your son. Huh?
No, I do.
Get out. I'm done.
My son is 13.
I don't like you guys no more.
He's 13.
Last time I joined.
My 18-year-old, on the other hand, he's in the military. He's, in Germany, so he ain't even watching. He should be sleeping by now because it's 6 hours ahead over there.
Wow.
Yeah. So funny because he'll call me and I'm like, I'll call you back in 5 minutes when I'm on my lunch. That's when I get to talk to him.
Aww.
He's going to be there 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's rough.
The only good thing right now about this is because I can FaceTime him and still see he's doing okay. But back in my day when we had to talk on payphones.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
When you didn't have cell phones and you couldn't have your cell phones,
Yeah.
Fun stuff. But Well, anyways, I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. You're a little late, Howard. Thanks for showing up 1 minute before, but that's okay. I love you too, Howard. Howard's on next. Howard's show is on next on the Things Network, the Peachy Dish. And then I don't believe there's a show on next on the RU Media. I think they're on a hiatus for a few. But next week I have Scott. He was in the chat, and his son Aiden. So yeah, we have Scott and his son next week at 7:00 right here on the RU Media Network and Things Network. So we will talk to everybody later. Thank you again for joining us. It was a lot of fun. Bye,
Thank you
everyone.
for having us.
You're welcome.